Justified is back 8 years later with its spin-off series Justified City Primeval, and in today's video, I'll take you on a journey through the first 2 episodes of the new series. As a fan of the original Justified series, I have to admit that I was very much looking forward to this show. And based on the first 2 episodes, I can say outright that it was worth watching, but I wish certain choices were made a bit differently. So without further ado, let's take a look at the first couple of episodes of the new Justified spin-off and see if the series has the potential to beat the original series or not. The show started off pretty strong, showing RaeLynn and his now teenage daughter Willa taking a road trip to drop her off at a camp. Because guess what? Willa is a bit of a troubled teenager who likes to act out of the norm, piss people off, and even get violent at times. And apparently this will be an issue for the entirety of the season. On their way to the camp, they are harassed by 2 young men who not only hit their car but also threaten Willa. What's RaeLynn's response to this? Well, he pulls off the typical RaeLynn move and detains them. The move kicks off RaeLynn's adventure in Detroit, Michigan. He takes 2 men to the court, however. During the case, it's revealed that his treatment of the 2 is far from the ideal. Since one of the men was black, the discussion in the courtroom quickly takes a racial turn, which doesn't end up in favor of RaeLynn. Also, it's important to mention that the judge of the case, who is also a black man, just survived a bomb attack as someone tried to kill him in the morning. The court scene takes a large section of episode 1, and it sets the basis for a few things that are likely to be the theme of the series in the upcoming episodes. Race has a big part not only in the overall mystery, but also in Detroit. RaeLynn's daughter acts nonsensical, RaeLynn and Carolyn have a weird chemistry, and everyone in the show, including RaeLynn, is morally gray characters. From that point on, we watch RaeLynn being stuck in Detroit as the judge who seemingly disliked him very much decided that he is the perfect officer who can investigate his attacker. So RaeLynn's new adventure begins. They achieve quite a lot in the first episode alone, as they find the attacker pretty quickly, and solve the mystery in basically 20 minutes. And yet, right before the end of the episode, we see Clement, whom we got introduced briefly before as a typical bad boy who is involved in anything bad that you can think of. Now, based on the trailer, I was initially expecting Clement to be a part of a large plot to kill the judge. However, it's revealed that he killed the judge just because he got mad at him. And that's it. Somehow, this made Clement a much more villainous character than he already is, as his unhinged attitude creeps me out. I believe they did a good job right from the start in showing us that Clement is capable of doing anything at any time, and there is no point in trying to find a logic behind his actions. Then we move on to episode 2, which is titled The Oklahoma Wildman. With Clement killing the judge and his assistant, RaeLynn finds himself right where he started and quickly realizes that his time in Detroit will be way longer than he initially planned. Willa is understandably annoyed by this, and she reacts to the situation by wandering around the creepy neighborhoods of Detroit for who knows why. If you didn't get it so far, I'm not a fan of Willa as a character, but I'll touch on that more later on. In this episode, we witness a flashback that shows the connection between our lovely bartender Sweetie, the ruthless killer Clement, and the charismatic lawyer Carolyn. We see that Clement and Sweetie were in a gang together. When they got in trouble, Carolyn defended Clement and managed to drop all the charges against him. It's suggested that she has done this to protect Sweetie, but I have to admit the whole scene was filled with unexplained relations. I believe some of the plot holes in this complicated relationship would be explained in detail in future episodes, but so far it's hinted that Carolyn wasn't defending Clement just because she wants to. By this point, one thing is pretty clear about Detroit. The justice system is very much corrupted, and our dead judge was a part of some shady business. Clement and RaeLynn finally meet this episode, and there is an immediate animosity between the two as RaeLynn senses that there is something off with this guy. I mean, Clement basically threatens Carolyn in front of RaeLynn, so it's a bit difficult to see him in a good light. Things reach a very disturbing point when RaeLynn sees him with Willa, though. Clement not only lies to Willa, but also openly flirts with her, going as far as to touch her. Naturally, RaeLynn goes mad. And I believe this was the exact reaction Clement was hoping to get from RaeLynn. Clement knows that RaeLynn is suspicious of him and seems to be trying to get RaeLynn in trouble so that he can claim RaeLynn is the problem. I bet he would have been so happy if RaeLynn had just beaten him to death. Well, he did not, which is something that I'm quite surprised with. It seems like RaeLynn got matured over the years. After all, RaeLynn I know would have ruined the guy who dared to touch his teenage daughter. Here are the things I like about the show so far. RaeLynn, obviously. Timothy Olyphant has always been great in this role, and he still is. It's always a delight to watch him as RaeLynn. I'll never get tired of it. The banter between Carolyn and RaeLynn is also great. I low-key hope to see a romantic angle to their relationship as they have the chemistry flowing. I like Boyd Holbrook's overall bad boy vibe as Clement, though I have to admit that I'm a bit nervous about whether they would do too much with the character in the future. The fact that almost all characters, except for RaeLynn, are connected one way or another is also interesting. I'm eager to find out what's been going on in Detroit and why they are so interlinked. The action scenes are pretty cool and the pace is well balanced. I didn't get bored even for a second, which is a huge plus. And here are the things that I didn't like as much. RaeLynn's daughter, Willa. Obviously. First of all, I don't think Oliphant's daughter is a good casting choice. Her acting is bland at best. When you add the fact that her presence does not contribute anything to RaeLynn's character, her entire existence in the show becomes pointless. I know that she is a tool to show how much time has passed since Justified and also to piss RaeLynn off a bit more by making things a bit more personal. But I feel like she is written way more juvenile than her supposed age, which doesn't make any favors to her already meaningless presence. I mean, a teenage girl would not laugh out loud at cat video in a courtroom unless she's trying to annoy anyone. She is old enough to know what is appropriate or not. A teenage girl would also know that one cannot trust strangers. I mean, at the very least, I would have expected her to learn one thing or two from her father. Anyways, I hope her acting and overall character improves in future episodes. I also don't like the fact that some things are just too convenient for Clement's sake. For instance, RaeLynn and Wendell found out that the gun that killed the judge was stashed in Swee's bat, but somehow did not issue an arrest warrant for the place. I mean, why? And this is only a single example. Once you dig deep, you can find many more meaningless moves on the cop's part, which are annoying me. The next episode will be on the 25th of July, and I believe we will witness Clement utilizing the judge's brown notebook to blackmail some of the prominent names in the city. I can already tell that it will be a fun watch, and I can't wait for it despite all the flaws so far. What are your thoughts on Justified City Primeval? Did you like the series? Will you continue to watch? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you for watching. See you soon.